Welcome to the Great Indian AI Podcast channel, where we love to take those deep dives into topics that really matter.
Absolutely.
And today,
Yeah.
we're going on a journey into the heart of the Bhagavad Gita,
Okay.
specifically Chapter 2,
All right.
which is often called the essence of the Gita.
Okay.
This chapter drops us right onto the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where we find Arjuna, this mighty warrior.
Right.
He's facing a really tough internal crisis, questioning his very purpose.
Yeah.
And he's torn, between this duty as a warrior and this heart-wrenching prospect of fighting his own family.
Yeah. I think all of us can relate to that.
It's a universal dilemma.
Yeah. Definitely.
We all face those tough choices where,
Yeah.
responsibilities clash with emotions, or our, head clashes with our heart.
Exactly. And what's remarkable is how this ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita, speaks to the very core of human experience.
Yeah.
Arjuna's struggle is like this mirror reflecting all the challenges that we encounter in our modern lives. So it really begs the question, how do we navigate these internal conflicts? How do we find clarity amidst confusion?
That's precisely why this deep dive is so powerful.
Yeah.
Arjuna, in his moment of despair,
Right.
turns to his charioteer Krishna, who is also an incarnation of the divine, for guidance. And what unfolds is this really powerful dialogue.
Yes.
A conversation that pierces through the veil of illusion and reveals these profound truths about the self, about duty, and the path to liberation.
Yeah.
So stick with us on the Great Indian AI Podcast channel as we unravel these really timeless teachings. I promise you'll walk away with some valuable insights that can really transform your perspective and empower you to face your own battles with greater wisdom and courage.
Sounds good.
So the chapter opens with this really vivid portrayal of Arjuna's emotional turmoil.
Okay.
He's described as overwhelmed with compassion. His mind is heavy with sorrow. He's got tears welling up in his eyes.
Yeah.
So picture this: a seasoned warrior, renowned for his strength and valor, brought to his knees by the weight of his emotions. This powerful imagery just speaks volumes about the depth of his internal conflict.
It does.
It's truly humbling to witness Arjuna's vulnerability.
Yeah.
He even confesses to Krishna, "I would rather beg for my livelihood than kill these honorable elders who are worthy of my worship."
It's powerful.
It's a powerful statement.
It is.
Arjuna is essentially saying he'd rather renounce everything, even his dignity, than achieve victory at the cost of harming his own kin.
That's really
It's deep.
deep.
And this is where Arjuna's humanity really shines through.
I agree.
He's not just a warrior bound by duty.
Yeah.
He's a man wrestling with his conscience, questioning the very nature of right and wrong.
Right.
And this internal struggle is something that I think we can all relate to.
Absolutely. I think it makes the Bhagavad Gita so relevant even after thousands of years.
Absolutely. So how does Krishna respond to Arjuna's anguish?
Well, Krishna gently reminds Arjuna that grief over the inevitable is futile. He emphasizes the importance of fulfilling one's duty, reminding Arjuna that succumbing to this despair would be a disservice to his true nature.
Okay.
Okay.
But Arjuna remains confused.
Right.
Torn between conquering and being conquered, unable to really see a path forward.
Yeah.
And he admits, "Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me."
Wow, that's heavy.
And in this really pivotal moment of surrender,
Yeah.
Arjuna declares, "Now I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me." This act of surrendering to a higher wisdom,
Right.
of seeking guidance amidst confusion,
Yeah,
is a crucial step in Arjuna's journey.
definitely.
It's a step many of us hesitate to take, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
We cling to our own limited understanding, our ego's insistence on having all the answers. But what if, like Arjuna, we had the courage to surrender, to open ourselves to a wisdom beyond our own? What transformative insights might we receive?
Good question.
Stay tuned to the Great Indian AI Podcast channel as we delve into the heart of Krishna's wisdom in the next segment.
Right.
Don't miss out on the profound knowledge that awaits knowledge that has the power to shift our perspectives and illuminate our path.
Okay. Welcome back to the Great Indian AI Podcast channel.
Yeah.
We're unlocking the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. As we left off, Arjuna was surrendering to Krishna's guidance, desperate for answers.
Right.
And Krishna, in his infinite compassion,
Yeah.
starts by addressing the root of Arjuna's sorrow,
Oh.
his attachment to the physical body,
Yeah.
and the fear of death. This is a fear that haunts us all, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The fear of losing ourselves, of losing those we love.
It's a fear that stems from, I think, a limited understanding of who we truly are.
Right.
We identify so strongly with this physical form, this temporary vessel, that we forget our true nature, our eternal essence.
Exactly, and that's where Krishna's teachings become truly revolutionary. He unveils this timeless truth of the soul, declaring, "Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be."
Wow.
Think about that for a moment.
Okay.
Krishna is stating that the soul, the essence of who we are, is unborn, undying, eternal.
Right.
It's a concept that really shatters our perceived limitations.
Yeah.
And opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
It challenges us to shift our perspective from the finite to the infinite, to the temporary to the eternal.
Exactly.
But how does the soul navigate this journey through time?
Right.
How does it relate to the physical body?
Krishna explains that the soul simply changes bodies, like one changes clothes.
Okay.
He states, as the embodied soul continually passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. This analogy helps us grasp the soul's journey through different lifetimes.
Okay.
Imagine the soul as an actor, taking on different roles, wearing different costumes, but remaining essentially the same.
Yeah, it's a powerful analogy that sheds light on the cycle of birth and death.
Yeah.
Helping us understand that death is not the end,
Right.
but a transition, a shedding of the old to embrace the new.
Precisely. And this understanding brings a sense of peace and liberation.
Yeah.
Krishna emphasizes that those who truly grasp this concept do not lament for the living or the dead. They understand that the soul is beyond the reach of both killer and slain.
Okay.
As he puts it, he who thinks that the living entity is the slayer or that he is slain does not understand. One who is in knowledge knows that the self slays not, nor is slain.
It's a profound shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of being consumed by the fear of death,
Right.
we can embrace the eternal nature of our being.
Exactly.
But this knowledge, this wisdom, is not just about intellectual understanding.
Right.
It's about embodying this truth in our daily lives.
Yes.
It's about aligning our actions with this deeper understanding.
Yeah. And that's where the concept of Sankhya philosophy comes in.
Okay.
Sankhya, one of the 6 schools of Indian philosophy, focuses on gaining analytical knowledge of the self and the material world. It helps us distinguish between the eternal self, the soul, and the ever-changing material realm.
Right.
For example, Sankhya teaches that our true nature is pure consciousness, while our body, mind, and emotions are part of the material world, subject to change and decay.
So by understanding Sankhya, we can detach ourselves from the fleeting nature of the material world and connect with our true essence, our eternal self.
Exactly.
But how do we translate this knowledge into action? How do we live in accordance with this wisdom?
That's where Krishna introduces the concept of karma yoga,
the
yoga of action.
All right.
He encourages Arjuna to perform his duty without attachment to the results. Krishna says, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
It's a profound teaching that challenges us to act with intention, with purpose,
Yes.
but without being consumed by the outcome.
Right.
It's a call to surrender the ego's need to control, to let go of the need for specific outcomes.
Exactly.
But how do we actually cultivate this detachment in our daily lives?
Yeah, it's a question many of us grapple with.
It is.
Krishna highlights the importance of fulfilling one's duty,
Okay.
reminding Arjuna of his Kshatriya dharma, his duty as a warrior.
Right.
He explains that neglecting one's duty leads to dishonor and disharmony, but he also cautions against becoming attached to the rewards of action,
Okay.
reminding Arjuna that these are fleeting and ultimately insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
It's a reminder that true fulfillment lies not in achieving specific outcomes, but in aligning our actions with our higher purpose, with our dharma.
Exactly.
So if we're not attached to the results, what motivates us to act?
Right.
What drives us to fulfill our dharma?
Krishna reveals a path even more profound than duty, a path that transcends both action and inaction,
Interesting.
the path of devotion.
Okay.
He states that for those seeking ultimate liberation, even the vast knowledge of the Vedas has its limitations.
It's a bold statement.
It is.
The Vedas, considered the most sacred scriptures in Hinduism,
Yeah.
are being compared to a small pond while true knowledge is likened to a vast reservoir.
Right.
What is this knowledge that transcends even the wisdom of the Vedas?
It's the knowledge of the supreme, the divine, the source of all creation.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the Great Indian AI Podcast channel as we delve deeper into this path of devotion.
Right.
A path that leads to true liberation, to union with the divine.
Welcome back to the Great Indian AI Podcast channel as we continue unlocking that profound wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. So we've been delving into Chapter 2,
Right.
and we've discovered that true knowledge goes beyond just intellectual understanding, beyond action and inaction.
Right.
It leads us to the path of Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion.
Okay.
And Krishna reveals that this path of surrendering to the divine,
Yeah.
offers a liberation that surpasses even that vast knowledge of the Vedas.
It's a pretty radical shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Krishna challenges Arjuna and us as listeners
Right.
to move beyond the limitations of seeking rewards for our actions. He says, "O Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers."
Wow.
You know, Krishna uses this really powerful analogy to illustrate the difference between clinging to material gains and finding true wealth in devotion.
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the misers hoarding their possessions,
Right.
always striving for more, versus the devotee who finds contentment in their connection to the divine.
Exactly.
It makes me wonder, what does it mean to surrender fully to that consciousness?
Yeah.
How do we practically apply this in our daily lives?
Krishna explains that dedicating our actions to the Supreme purifies us from the karmic consequences of both good and bad deeds. It's like handing over the reins of our lives to a higher power, trusting in their divine plan.
Right.
We begin to see every action as an offering, a way to connect with the divine.
So it's not about renouncing action altogether,
No.
but about transforming the way we act, the intention behind our actions.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our focus from, what's in it for me to how can I serve?
Exactly. Krishna emphasizes that this shift in consciousness can lead to liberation even in this lifetime.
Wow.
He states, "A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, O Arjuna, which is the art of all work." This reminds us that liberation is not some distant goal, but a state of being that we can cultivate here and now through our actions, our thoughts, and our intentions.
It's about integrating this wisdom into the fabric of our lives.
Yeah.
Making every moment an opportunity to connect with the divine.
Right.
But our minds are often turbulent,
Definitely.
filled with desires and distractions.
Yeah.
How do we quiet that mental chatter and cultivate that inner stillness necessary for this deep connection?
Krishna provides practical guidance on how to control the senses and cultivate inner peace.
Okay.
He uses this vivid analogy, comparing the mind to a boat that can easily be swept away by the strong winds of the senses.
Right.
He advises, "One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws his limbs within the shell, is to be understood as truly situated in knowledge."
That image of the tortoise retreating into its shell.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder of the importance of turning inwards, of finding refuge in the stillness within.
Exactly.
It's a practice, isn't it? A continuous effort to detach from those external distractions that pull us away from our center.
Yeah.
But what does this inner peace look like?
Right.
How do we know if we're on the right track?
Krishna paints a beautiful picture of the sage of steady mind.
Okay.
One who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, who is not elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. This description highlights the qualities of equanimity and resilience, the ability to remain grounded amidst the ups and downs of life.
It's a state of being that transcends the duality of pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. It's about finding that unshakable center within, a place of peace that can't be disturbed by external circumstances.
Yeah.
But how do we reach this state of equanimity?
Right.
Is it even attainable for, ordinary people like us?
Krishna assures us that it is.
Okay.
He explains that by renouncing material desires, controlling the senses, and focusing the mind on the self, we can attain divine consciousness.
Right.
He highlights a contrast between those who are lost in the pursuit of worldly pleasures and those who have mastered their senses.
Okay.
What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage.
It's a profound distinction, isn't it?
It is.
While the world is chasing those fleeting pleasures,
Right.
the self-realized individual is awake to a deeper reality.
Yeah.
A reality that transcends those limitations of the material world.
And in that state of awareness, the flowery language of the Vedas no longer holds sway.
Right.
The mind becomes absorbed in the experience of the self and the bliss of union with the divine.
It's a state beyond words, beyond concepts. A state that can only be experienced directly through the practice of yoga,
Yeah.
through that surrender of the ego and the cultivation of devotion.
Krishna concludes this chapter with a powerful message of hope and liberation. He states, "A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace."
Wow.
These words point us towards that ultimate goal of human life,
Yeah.
the attainment of lasting peace,
Hmm.
a peace that arises from the depths of our being,
Right.
a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances.
You know, it's been an incredible journey exploring Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita.
It has.
A journey that has taken us from the depths of despair to the heights of liberation.
Yeah.
We've witnessed Arjuna's transformation, his journey from confusion to clarity,
Right.
from fear to courage, from attachment to detachment.
Absolutely.
We've explored those profound teachings of Krishna teachings that illuminate the path to self-realization and union with the divine.
Yeah. Hopefully this deep dive has ignited a spark within you, a desire to explore these timeless truths for yourself.
As for me.
The Bhagavad Gita is a treasure trove of wisdom waiting to be discovered.
And we encourage you to delve deeper into this ancient text, to contemplate its teachings, and to apply its wisdom in your own life.
Good advice.
And don't forget to like, share, and comment on this episode, and subscribe to the Great Indian AI podcast channel for more enlightening content.
Great.
Until next time, may your journey be filled with peace, wisdom, and the transformative power of the Bhagavad Gita.